Hello everyone, it's Loser 1000 with a new installment of my playlist, Revolutions. Today on a dreary, rainy Melbourne afternoon, I've just come back from work, hence I'm still in a shirt, looking half decent, so I thought, I'll make the most of the chance of making a video. I hope everyone's well. Yes, I've been back at work for a while. Work. We're not in lockdown anymore, which is nice, and we're just getting on with life a little bit here in Australia. So another installment of my weekly playlist. I think it's time that I just show you some records, interact with the community. And so I want to start with a huge VCLT that I received a few days ago, probably probably 10 days ago or something. And this was sent to me by a German viewer, Tamo, who doesn't make videos but often comments on my videos. And a while back he sort of contacted me and said, I'd really like to send you some records, what's your address? And I'm really tentative with VCLT because I'm one of these people, I like to repay VCLT. In fact, I'm currently putting together a package back for Tamo. He said, "Oh, is there a record that you're looking for, or something that you like to have?" And he sent me on a German store website, and I said, "Yeah, sure. This record, I've been looking for. It's a great slowcore record. Duster. The album is called Stratosphere. Duster are a trio from San Jose in California, and they really, specialize in that sort of sound of, I've been talking about slowcore a lot, very slow, depressing kind of music. I talk about the Red House Painters, or I've talked about, Songs Are Higher, and I think Duster have a bit more of an electric guitar approach to their music, whereas, for example, those bands are more acoustic guitar based. So you've got this kind of indie rock, sort of vintage 90s indie rock sound that you would find on, bands like Pavement or Yolo Tango or, Sonic Youth or bands like that, but in a much more, slowed down manner. This is their first proper album, and it's a masterpiece in my opinion. It's a reissue on Numero Group, as you can see. So Tamo wanted to know, what would you want? And I thought he was only going to send me this, and I was happy with that. I thought that's really great, because I'm not buying records overseas. I'm not buying records from other countries, so I thought, that's plenty for me. This record will do. But he sent me 7 records. So then he also sent me a couple of records from this band that I knew really nothing about. And the band is called Halma. This is the 2015 album Granular. And also he sent me a copy of Dissolved Sounds. And the sticker says it all. It says Hamburg is das neue Chicago, which means that Hamburg is the new Chicago. These are post-rock records, and Chicago is, if you know anything about post-rock, is the mecca, with bands like Tortoise, Directions in Music, Sea and Cake, and so on and so forth. And you have a distillation of those sounds on these records. Halma are a 4-piece from Germany. They're comprised of keyboards, guitar, drum programming, baritone guitar, some percussion. These two records are freaking excellent. I mean, elongated kind of sparse melodic jams. I put either of these and I just space out. They're beautiful record, and I love post rock, and it's nice to get post rock from other places, you know, because we know the classics, you know, the Godspeeds, the Mogwais, the Tortoise, the Directions in Music, and the Gods in the Sea and Cake and those kinds of bands. But it's nice to branch out to, you know, and even like Mono from Japan, for example. It's nice to get, you know, a new approach, and I love both of these records. And initially I thought I liked Dissolve Sounds a bit better than Granular, but I think with time, I think Granular is getting the, you know, my vote. I mean, I've been playing those all week long, and I just really am loving them. Then he sent me 2 releases from a label called Denovely. It's a German label. The label was called Denovely. So here's the how you spell this. You can see it there. And this record is called Nautilus. This is the best record of the pack, really, by, you know, by all standards. This is the record that I like the most. Nautilus, they're a French jazz band. They're what you would call future jazz, new jazz. There's a lot of mild life in there. There's some Sons of Kemet, Bad Bad Not Good. Again, a distillation of all these kind of really great influences. I don't know if they're actual influences. I mean, you know, this is released at the same time. This is from 2017. So, I mean, I guess it's the zeitgeist. You know, like it's the music that's being played at the moment. You know, if you like things like Comet is Coming and all this UK jazz scene stuff, this will be really. This would be really go really well in your wheelhouse. I love this. I love this record. This record is punchy. It just takes no prisoners. You know, it's a trip. And if you like the first Mild Life record, I think you could do worse than grabbing this Nautilus record. I really recommend it. Thank you, Tamo, because that was just a superb release. Really love it. And the other record from Denovely that he sent me is this beautiful ambient electronic progressive record. This one I think is from 2013, and it is a band on Acco, Saffron Kira, and it's Saffron Kira and Mario Massa. So this is an Italian progressive electronic band, and it's a double LP and a mixture of avant-garde, electronic, progressive, some jazz leanings, some modern classical tendencies as well. It's really a beautiful, you know, if you like stuff like Held On and you know, Sensations Fix meets a sort of, again, new jazz. You know, I was talking about Mild Life and A Comet Is Coming. If you fuse all these things together, and some Brian Eno, obviously, because it's a very ambient record. John Hassel, Brian Eno, you know, that kind of sound. This is what you're getting. Saffron Kira. I might write it so that you can know. And Mario Massa. The record is called Cause and Effect. It's got very beautiful trumpet playing, very sort of mournful, in a silent way-esque trumpet playing, with some beautiful choirs, you know, like soaring choirs as well. I very much enjoyed this, Tamo, so thank you. You know that already. I've already made you a video about it in very bad German, and he wanted to see, because I mean German is a passion of mine. I love the language. I love yeah, I just love German as a whole, as a learning experience. For me, it's I've always, I've had a long term love affair with the German language, and so he wants to send me a German rock record. Pure Vernunft darf niemals siegen, which is a band called Tokotronic. That's the album name. Is a derivation from a Kant philosophy book, the Critic of Pure Reason, and these guys, they're kind of like a jangle pop, indie pop group from Germany. The songs are all catchy as fuck. I mean, so catchy. The lyrics are, for me, I mean, as a German learner, they're very very straightforward. I listen to this, I understand everything, and it's kind of great to get good, catchy, jangly music and get the sort of linguistic approach to it. It's a double record. It came out in 2017. This reminds a little bit, if this was in English, it reminds me of like jangle pop bands like the Lars or the Church, or a little bit like I don't know, something that's maybe a bit more current, as this kind of like punchy guitar and beautiful record. Tokotronic, love it. And the last record that was in the pack is this beautiful Japanese jazz record by Ichiro Fujiya and Takeshi Kurihara. And there's the artist. It's called An Elephant and a Barber. This is a label that I know already because I've got another record on this label, which is the Itsuru record, which I'll talk about in a minute. The label is called Musilog. That's the name of the label there. And this is a very delicate, beautiful Japanese jazz record. Very, intricate and soft guitar lines, intertwining saxophone. The bass is also really, really classy. I just love this. I love this. Absolutely love it. Here's my thumbnail. Maybe we'll see. Fantastic, Tamo. I'm so chuffed. Those records are amazing. You blow my mind. I hope I blow your mind with the package I'm preparing for you. And so, as I said, this is on Musilog. So I was inspired to put out Itsuru. This is a very interesting modern Japanese jazz record, which has a full jazz band. So bass drums, piano, and saxophone, of course, and plus augmented with shakuhachi flute and a koto. And so this is killer. I've shown this before. Alice Picard, if you're watching this, you bought this after I showed it, so people know I love this. Very, very highly recommended release. It's killer. It's killer. Again, delicate, and it's sort of, when you start playing this record at the start, it starts very. It just takes it's taking its time, to get there. You get a lot of shakuhachi. Then you've got a bit of koto coming in, and you think, oh, is this going anywhere? And then suddenly, boom, the whole band comes in, and it's absolutely dynamite. On Sunday, now we can have people coming to your house now. Like before, it was forbidden to bring people in the house because of the restrictions. But I sort of got in touch with another viewer, Amos, who comments on my videos, and Amos lives locally. He lives really like 20 minutes away from here. And I just started chatting to him, and I said, when the lockdown is finished, you should come here, and we'll just have a listening session in my lounge, and we'll just, you know, play some records and stuff. So he came, and we had this really wonderful listening session on Sunday. You know, he was here from like 12:30 to 7 o'clock at night, and we just played tons of records, and we just like shared a lot of. It was very, very good. And so he came and gave me a record when he arrived. He gave me this beautiful record, J. Devort, and it's called Bamboo Music. This is a lovely spiritual ambient record on a label called Astral Industries, and so there's some liner notes in there. And J. Devort was an ambient musician, Dutch guy, and he passed away, I think, fairly recently. And I'll just dig this out. There's there he is, J. Devort, and he passed on. In 2019. Sorry, I couldn't see it. And so this is, I guess, a posthumous release. Lovely sort of John Hassel-esque ambience, very trippy, tribal, but also kind of spacey as well. You know, if you like your krautrock rock, you know, you might like this. So Amos, really freaking dig this record. So I know you'll be watching. So thank you so much. I've played it a few times now. I love it. So when Amos was here, I just pulled out some records to play. We're just vibing on. So I pulled this out, which is the Greatness Acoustronics, Mahakali, the music of Don Cherry. I've spoken about this before. So there's a label called Comos. It's a label from Paris, and they've got a series where you've got local French bands taking on some of the classics. So this is the music of Don Cherry. So this is kind of, I'd say, yes, a mix between jazz, electronics, Hindustani music, a bit of African grooves, all sort of rolled into one package. And it's a tribute to Don Cherry. So you've got, you know, some key tracks from Don Cherry being covered, like Universal Mother or Malcones as well. And features Balake Sissoko on Kora. This is highly recommended. It's a trippy cosmic record. And this is the name of the band if you're really interested, the Greatness Acoustronics. I also have the Henri Texier tribute album, which is which goes under the name of the Palm Units. Really cool. So we played that. We revisited Nada El Shazli. Nada El Shazli. She's, I think, Egyptian or perhaps Lebanese. She's a so this is a newish record from 2017. Nada El Shazli. I might put this in the comments or something so that you can see it, but I don't know if you can see this. It's probably too small. So a mix again of Middle Eastern grooves, electronics, like a modern take on Ferouz, if you're familiar with Ferouz. So yes, amazing little record. We also had a crack at this Brian Brand record, The Planets. So Brian Brand from the Brian Brand Quintet, obviously. You know, Carlton Streets, still little bit uncomfortable on these cushions. Carlton Streets being my all-time favorite Australian jazz record, really. This is not really, in the same ballpark. It's still kind of nice modal jazz, if you can find it. A local seller had multiple copies, and so this is how I ended up with one. A friend of mine actually gifted this to me because he knows I love Brian Brown, so that's really cool. But yes, lovely modal jazz, Australian modal jazz. No, I wouldn't say essential by any means, but a nice record, We also had a little revisit of Bea Benjamin and Doll Brand, African Songbird. This is an absolute masterpiece of South African spiritual jazz. I mean, this record is dynamite. If you've been in the VC long enough, we repped this record like mad a few years ago. That came out in 2013. Wow, all these years ago. Gosh, we're getting old. This is a limited edition of 1,000. So, Bea Benjamin, she was the wife of Dollar Brand, Abdullah Ibrahim, whatever you want to call him. And she's a vocalist, and look, she's tremendous, she's South Africa's, Billie Holiday, she's just she's incredible. So, if you've never heard this record, you should play the first track, which is called Africa, and you'll be completely blown away. I'm certain of it. I'm certain. This is killer. This is another killer record. Abdullah Sami, Piece of Time, All Praise Belongs to Allah. This was released in very small quantities in 1978, probably like 100 copies or something, or 200 copies, and was reissued lovingly by Spirit Muse, a record label, I think maybe a British record label, I can't remember. But in any case, this is a masterpiece of a spiritual jazz record. It's an interesting lineup. You've got sax, percussion, drums, and guitar and bass. So the guitar takes, sort of quite an important role in this configuration. It's soaring, beautiful, soul-enhancing kind of music. You listen to this and you feel like a better human being. Just about. It's just superb, sublime. I don't know, I'm not very descriptive. It's probably pretty crappy, but okay, I apologize. We also revisited the Ross McHenry Distant Oceans. This is an Australian jazz band. Ross McHenry is the bass player, and we actually saw him at the gig, and hence it's all signed by everyone. Maile Manzanza is the drummer, and he makes records under his own name. And you've got Mark the Clive Lowe on keyboards there. So quite well-known names in the modern jazz context. The first track of this is unbelievable. It's called Intercosmos. If you want to hear a really mind-blowing sort of new jazz track, modern jazz track, just play Intercosmos by Ross McHenry. Ross McHenry is from Adelaide, from memory, but absolutely amazing. Here is my 1970s. So these are some records. The last record we played with Amos, that I want to share, is my Sarah segment. I must always talk about Sarah. Here she is. Here you go. Hello, Sarah. And Amos was saying that post-punk is not really his thing. And, I was trying to, talk about some different types of post-punk. And for me, ESG is a completely unique, idiosyncratic way of doing post-punk. As five sisters from the Bronx, the Scruggins sisters, Deborah, Renee, Marie, and Valerie. And Sarah used to absolutely love ESG. Oh my God, she loved ESG. It's a record that I obviously introduced her to, but she just was so in love with it. And quite sadly, we went to see ESG at the Night Cat in Melbourne just after her third brain surgery. And she was really out of it, and it was a shame because I don't think she could enjoy much of it. I somehow regret having taken her there. I mean, we had tickets already, and it was already, it was booked months ahead, and she was really like, I think she was quite struggling at the gig. She just was recovering from brain surgery, if you can imagine. But this music she loved, moody, UFO, dance. I mean, I can remember many a time where we're here and we played ESG together and actually danced to it just in the middle of the hallway here. It makes me a bit, obviously, yeah, it does make you a bit sad to think of it, but it's nice to revisit the music and to have Sarah's spirit with me. The 1971 segment today, because every Revolutions I do a 1971 album, is this masterpiece, Colin Blunstone, 1 Year. For those of you who have never heard of this record, you are going to be in for a treat. It's a masterpiece. It's an absolute incredible Baroque pop record, sag pop, Baroque pop. Colin Blunstone was one of the lead voices in the Zombies. If you like Odyssey and Oracle and you've never heard this, I mean, your mind will go, I mean, just like Misty Roses or Caroline Goodbye. My word, what a track. What a tune. Mary Won't You Warm My Bed. Oh my words. I can't live without you. But try Caroline Goodbye. Caroline Goodbye. Like, it's Baroque Pop 101. It's all the good stuff about orchestral pop, psych pop, just rolled into one package. This record is absolutely... I don't think I can give you a higher recommendation in this pack of records. Colin Blunstone. Okay, a couple more. This is a brand new record. I just got it this week, 3 days ago. The record is called Low Lights. I don't know if you'll see this. And the band is called Spirograph Studies. They're a Melbourne band, I believe. And it's a brand new release. It came out on the 15th of October. It's a fantastic post-rock, modern classical record. If you like Rachel's, Rachel, music for Egon Schiele, this is totally your bag. Tamo, if you're watching, I'm sending you a copy of this. I bought two of them. One for you. I think you'll love this. This is beautiful. It's piano and piano bass, two pianos, it's twin pianos, guitar, bass, and drums. I mean, if you like things like the Dirty Three, Tortoise, Niels Fram, Rachel's, all that together, it gives you Low Lights. Spirograph Studies, amazing, like post-rock from Melbourne. I love this kind of stuff. I mean, you know me. I revisited Between, German krautrock, sort of drony, sort of world's ethnographic kind of band. It's fronted by Peter Michael Hamel, who made records in his own names. I think this is probably the most accomplished Between. This is a reissue from the 80s, 1981, I think, on Virgo. I think it came out in 1973 with a different cover, and The Waters Open. Very sort of, deep ethnographic meets psych sack and prog kind of record, beautiful. A couple more. My battery is about to die actually, we'll see if it stays there. I did revisit Shadowfax, Watercourse Way. This is a 1975 record. Probably one of the best things that ever came out on the Windham Hill label. This is a progressive rock record, sort of progressive jazz record. The band was an American band, I believe. Mix of electric guitar and drums, tabla, lots of really weird percussions, you know, lots of beautiful synth. I think if you're going to get anything from Shadowfax, that's the one to get, Watercourse Way. So there, progressive jazz, I'd say, you know, that's, you know, with some modern classical leanings, you know. And last but not least, I have played again the Pavilion of Dreams by Harold Budd. Genius of ambient music, really. Great pianist, great composer. This is his best record, really, undoubtedly. On Editions EG, but featuring Marion Brown on sax, Harold Budd on electric piano, obviously. Gavin Bryars is on glockenspiel on this. You got Michael Nyman on this, on marimba. You know, it's a who's who of modern classical and ambient music. And I'll finish off with that. I hope that was a pleasing installment for you, that you got something out of it. Thank you, Tamo, again. Love your package. Thank you, Amos, for the record that you brought me. We'll do some more listening sessions soon. Take care, everyone. Until next time.